And we're back, ladies and gents. Game 5, the first game 5 we have in the playoffs here between 7 Men and Vengeful Reapers. And we kind of saw this one coming. I think that was why this was a fan favorite, because we knew the game here would be close between these two teams. And now that we are back for game 5, it is going to be 7 men on the blue side this game, Vengeful Reapers on the red side. And we are going to have a change in the rosters here for Vengeful Reapers. It's going to be Shapiro coming back in for Microthorn here. And Microthorn had a bit of a rough game in game 4, so perhaps this is what they think will be enough to sort of change the tides here for themselves. And I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Random Minion Caster back again with Adorit Luna here for Game 5. No changes from your casters here. And picks and bans are starting up. It will be 7 man starting off our bans here.
Yeah, this is it is definitely a game, ladies and gents.
And with the return of Shapiro, we see the return of the Karthus ban here. 7 Men don't want to have to deal with that. They struggled quite a bit actually with it in game 2. Struggling to account for the damage it put out, not to mention the utility it had as well. And Vengeful Reapers content to continue that Vi ban targeted at Teeman. And again, with the Ari ban here for the side of 7 Men, it looks like Alpels just doesn't have a handle on how to deal with Ari.
I mean, it could just be that, or it could just be a straight respect ban, just being like, "Hey, man, we know you can do things with this champion. You're not gonna get it."
For sure, and we do see the kill ban coming up from Vengeful Reapers here against top lane Sucks. Did play it in game 1, and that was the one that Shapiro struggled against. Now we do see the Echo ban surprisingly coming up from 7 Men here. So despite the fact that Alpels was happy to blind pick that champion quite often, instead they're going to ban it out because they don't want Noise to be able to get it. And Hecarim will still be available. Instead, it's going to be the Cassiopeia coming in through for 7 Men as their first pick for Alpels. And Aatrox, the last ban for Vengeful Reapers here, once again targeted at that top lane.
So this really puts an interesting predicament because if you're VGR, you're like, okay, we can just take the Hecarim. But if you take the Hecarim, then Teeman just answers back with that Kane like he did last game. So at this point, if you're VGR, what do you pick? Who do you take into the jungle to deal with either Kane or Hecarim?
Well, apparently that's an issue that they'll put off for now because they've picked the Thresh for themselves right off the bat for JD here. And it looks like they might actually still go with that Hecarim. I think, to be fair to Noise, it's not so much a Kane counters Hecarim situation as I think just the way the lanes played out here. Instead, they're looking for the Diana, and that's a Noise special in the jungle. I believe he's the only jungler who's been playing Diana in the Coalition League here.
That is, I don't know how I feel about that. Uh,
I mean, Diana's been really solid in the Coalition League. One of the best initiators thus far. When you get in there, use the Moonfall there, and you're able to pump out amazing amounts of damage, set up a fight for your team. And 7 Men going to pick the Swain for the Ascendant in that bot lane here right off the bat. I guess that's their counter to the Thresh. We've seen it before. Swain seems to win out early with the poke, but as the game goes up, the utility from that death sentence is just so strong. And Teeman once again going to be on that Kane here for himself.
I think that's a good pick into having to deal with the Diana. Just because if Kane goes Ross yet again, he'll have that option to get a lot of healing to help mitigate some of that damage. Ooh, interesting, an Aurelia pick.
And this is going to be the Aurelia, and it's probably going to be for Shapiro in this top lane here. It'll be the first time we're seeing Shapiro play something non-AP. So looking very much forward to seeing how he's going to perform on that. And Vengeful Reaper is going to ban out the Ashe immediately against Muxtar. We've seen Muxtar pick up the Ashe almost every time he can get it. The Enchanted Crystal Arrows last game were absolutely on point here. And they're going to reply back with another ADC ban. It's going to be the Lucian this time against Drizzle. Game 3 saw Drizzle completely pop off on that Lucian. Even in game 4, when the other lanes were losing, that Lucian was the one lane that was kind of just hanging on in there for Vengeful Reapers.
Right. Now, the interesting thing is, what is going to be the last bans? I like the Renekton ban just because Renekton's a really strong champion. He provides a lot of utility with having decent stuns, very mobile, has a lot of damage, has good sustain. And wait, yo, they think it might be Diana Min.
Yeah, it looks like it. I'm not sure Heals the what actually plays Diana here in her champion pool. Usually a bit more on those sort of control mages, ranged mages here. So perhaps seven men not familiar with Heals the what and Noise's champion pool. But yeah, they end up banning out the Hecarim. And so that's off the table for now. And it's going to be Vengeful Reapers picking up the Jhin as their ADC of choice since the Lucian is banned here. Now the Darius pickup actually for top lane sucks here. Now that Microthorn's not around to first pick it, he's going to get his hands onto it. So it looks like it's going to be a Darius Irelia top lane matchup potentially here. We'll have to see how we'll have to keep our eyes on that one because we've seen Darius both take over a game and just feed his arse off. So we'll have to see which way that's going to turn out for top lane sucks. And we're just waiting for the last pick here from the side of seven men, and it's going to be the Varus pick for Mokstar. We've not seen him play it, I don't think, but I mean that is considered one of the most the highest priority ADC pick in pro play. Currently, did get nerfed last or this patch, I believe he got nerfed. So we'll have to see if he's just as strong. And Vengeful Reapers hovering that Singe, is that it's locked in? It's a Singe, so it might be Shapiro playing that Singe. I think that's more in his wheelhouse, and it's gonna be maybe an Irelia mid for heal slot.
Huh. Okay. I mean, either way, once you saw the Aurelia, we knew that it was going to be outside of someone's normal wheelhouse, since both Shapiro and Heal are usually on AP champions. So this is. I'm sorry. I'm just a little mind boggled.
For sure, and if you're mind boggled, you can only imagine what seven men must be feeling right now after this draft phase is completed. And so now that we have seen the two drafts, seven men with a more orthodox standard draft, Vengeful Reapers with a bit more unusual picks here. Who do you think really came out of the draft phase with a win?
Um, at least on paper, I feel like it's seven men, just because like the thing that I really like is they grabbed that Varus once the Ashe was banned, just because Varus essentially can do the same thing that Ashe does, except he's more of a poke champion, whereas Ashe is definitely more focused on being auto attack oriented. Not to say that Varus can't be, but currently the poke build is much more effective on Varus. So you have the range initiation from Varus, which that helps chain into Cassiopeia, which chains into Swain. You have a lot of setup for Kane and Darius to be able to get in and do a ton of damage once people are low. Whereas with VGR, it's kind of interesting because they do have a lot of CC. They have the disarm and the stun from Aurelia. You have all the soft and hard CC from the Thresh. Diana does have her pull in to pull people in around her. You have the flips from the Singed, and I mean you also have your roots from Jhin. So the question is the Singed going to be able to get into the mid to late game to where you're worried about not chasing him, or is he just going to get dealt with early and not be an issue at all?
Yeah, and we'll have to see how that one plays out because when it comes down to mechanics, it's always a bit of a coin flip, especially between these two teams who have been so much on a knife's edge this series here, where things really have gone either way. I mean, 2-2, the series scores tells you how close this matchup has been thus far. And now, if there is which lane do you think is going to be the most important one here, Luna?
Honestly, yet again, I think it's going to be reliant on the jungle. I think it's whatever lane the jungle is able to get in and get ahead is going to be where they're going to start taking those leads. Because so far, every game this series, the jungle gets a successful gank somewhere, and then they snowball those leads throughout the rest of the map. So I'd say that both teams play very similarly, and they play through the jungle extremely well.
And in this game 5, we are going to see some changes in the jungle. Like you said, noise on that Diana. That's something that we've not seen all series long. So unlike a lot of flip matchups we've been seeing so far, that should definitely screw things up. And not to mention Shapiro on this Singe. Shapiro with a very interesting top lane pool. We've now seen AP Skarner come out of him. Karthus top lane, and now a Singed top lane here. And we'll have to see how top lane sucks deals with this one, because I mean, it must be a bit of an odd matchup. This is probably actually the most normal matchup he's had against Shapiro thus far.
That's true, and we'll have to see if Shapiro is going to be able to pull off the cheeky the proxy farming from Singed, where he sits in between the enemy inner and outer turrets, just using his gas to clear minions there instead of actually in lane.
Yeah, and that is on the condition that he can do so safely against Teeman on this Kayn, against top lane sucks on the Darius. He might not actually be able to do that safely. We'll have to see how that works out. But that does mean they'll have an extremely weak top side for now. And I'm also interested to see how Healslawat performs on this Irelia. I don't think we've seen her play these sort of melee champions very often. Even as support, she prefers enchanters usually. Mid lane prefers control mages. So, I mean, if she can't get ahead early, I'm just concerned that El Palace will just outscale and become the monster that he did last game as well.
Right, and especially because, like, I feel like Cassiopeia would be a hard counter for Aurelia, just because, Aurelia is that melee range. She has to get in and be looking at you. So, I mean, one petrifying gaze is all it takes to delete someone.
Yeah, and so we'll have to see, like you said, it comes down to mechanics and how people play their champions. And with that, we are just going to wait out the spec delay here. So we will be heading to an intermission break, and we'll see you guys back on Summer's Rift for the final game of the night, the 5th game between 7 Men and Vengeful Reapers. Winner takes all.
Drifting on the ocean, taken from the place I knew, kept along the narrow passage. No current will let me through to you. waiting for the storm to clear. I'm waiting for the storm to clear, just waiting. Only when the sun appears, I'll be waiting. Only when the sun appears, can I find you again.
Sometimes wind and sometimes rain. Then the sun comes back again. Goodness, how we'd like to know why the weather alters so.
I'm just going through the motion. Don't know what else to do. Tides have pushed and pulled against us, and I'm so far away from you.
And it's finally time. We're here. It's game 5. Winner takes all. 7 men versus Vengeful Reapers. 7 men on the blue side. Vengeful Reapers on the red. And after an incredibly action-packed night, it's just come down to this. And it's really Vengeful Reapers putting themselves on a timer. They've got a composition that needs to get ahead, that are looking to smash, and they're staying true and loyal to the way they play win lane, win game. On the blue side, 7 men here. They've drafted themselves a better skilling composition. They just need to hold on. But knowing the way 7 men play, I don't think that's going to be the way they're actually going to play this composition.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see, because at this point, I'm, again, like I said earlier, I'm just mind boggled. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm extremely happy we got to a game 5 already. I mean, it's just quarterfinals, right? But at the same time, this is not the comps that I was expecting to see.
For sure, and we'll have to see how this composition plays out. I mean, on one hand, it's not what we expected to see, but on the other hand, it's kind of like, this is quintessential Vengeful Reapers right here. They don't necessarily pick a comp that is necessarily the best skilling or has a particular focus. Instead, they just draft for a lot of lane strength, and I think it will ultimately just come down to that mid-jungle synergy that has been so important in this series here.
Right.
We do see both junglers starting on their bot sides. We did see a teammate with an interesting pathing last game where he started the Raptors and then ran right over to his opposite side of the map buff. It looks like he won't necessarily be doing it this time, and there is a ward, a very, very deep ward here that will spot him out when he hits to his blue buff. So Shapiro should be much safer this game to start things up. He'll have to be. That's a Singe. Very, very vulnerable early as well. We see the flip coming out. Actually, top lane Sucks taking a lot of damage, and it's not the Conqueror Singed that we often see. Instead, it's going to be the Aerie Singed.
That's very unusual. I mean, I guess in a sense, it makes a lot of sense, because if you just wrap around your enemies a lot, ooh, very good snare by the Swain.
And that's what we expect to see from the Swain Thresh matchup for supports. A lot of times Swain able to punish early. It will come down to how good the death sentences are. And we do see a gank coming to the top lane. Teemin once again looking to cap that the top side and get top lane Sucks roll. But he doesn't find it in bot lane. The death sentence lands onto the Ascendant, and this is what I'm talking about. It's a question of how those death sentences land. JD able to find it there, and that's going to bring Ascendant really, really low and force him to go back to base early.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Jay Dillian, he kind of whipped the play there a little bit. He had a bad angle on it. If he hit that good angle, that would have been a kill.
Still forcing a back is good enough for now. We see pings coming down into the mid lane. Looks like Teemin's looking to try and position to get a gank off into the mid lane here. And can he pull it off? We do see Hyosawat pushing up a little bit. Teemin is in position. The cooldowns are ready. He just needs to pull the trigger. He's waiting for Alpals to set this up. It looks like they land the slow instead. The stun comes across onto Alpals, so he's going to take a lot of damage. But the poison is coming out. The flash does not get Alpals to safety. He's going to be first blood to Hyosawat and the bot lane of Drizzle and JD with a beautiful roam up to finish off Teemin as well. VGR firing, starting this one off, getting first blood, 2 kills, and they're looking to take over the game early here.
Yeah, that was a beautiful roam from the bot lane. If the bot lane didn't roam up there, I feel like Heal probably would have died because they did kite her back into Cassiopeia's puddle very well.
Yeah, unfortunately for the side of 7 men, there are no ifs, ands, or buts about this. What is done is done. Top lane, Shapiro, you taking the go. Actually, both of them taking a ghost. We do see now top lane Sucks looking for that kill, but he's not yet 6. Doesn't need it though. The flash is enough. He has enough damage. The bleed is good. And top lane Sucks finding himself a solo kill in that top lane.
Yeah, that's going to be huge because, again, as we stated multiple times about a month and a half ago, the experience changes make it to where pre-level 7, if you get that solo kill, you get 20% more experience.
For sure, that's extremely worrying for Shapiro here, because if he falls too far behind, proxying is going to be very, very dangerous for him and could just be feeding free kills over. So we'll have to see how that one pans out in the top side. He has bought himself a double Dark Seal, so it looks like he's going for that Season 8, Season 9 Singed build in the past, where it's just a lot of healing here. And now top lane Sucks does have to be careful, does get flipped, and he's trying to chase the Singe. He does have a lot of damage, but he's not got enough health for this, so we'll have to be careful. Does not have teleport, cannot get back to lane right away if he goes back to base here.
Right. But, well, we got a minute. Back to what we were saying about the summon area on the Singed is, if you just keep wrapping around your opponent in the gas, the quicker that area gets back to you, the quicker you can send it back out.
Sure, and we do see now JD getting collapsed on. Teemin was waiting in the wings. Death Sentence will come out and connect, but it won't be able to do anything. He was surrounded by 3. That's JD dead now, and suddenly 7 men are even in terms of kill. 2-2 right now. And are they going to go for the Drake? No, because it's instead going to be Hyosawat going in the 1v1. Is the Conqueror enough? Yes, it is. The Conqueror manages to help him get the kill. But Teemin there to answer back, and it's going to be a 1-for-1, but with Teemin getting some assist goal this time.
Yeah, so that's definitely interesting. That was very clutch by Heal being able to just barely get that kill off onto Alpals. But again, Teemin just being able to be all over the map, just like a madman. Just good response.
Oh, and look at the damage in that top lane from top lane Sucks with the Phage alone. Able to chunk Shapiro quite easily there. Able to heal up as well. And Shapiro has to be careful. The Noxian Guillotine is now available for top lane Sucks. He could get executed, dunked on here if he's not careful.
Alright. Can we talk about Shapiro's build real quick? Just for a second. Folks, this man's rushing triple Dark Seal. What? Is he trolling?
I mean, it does make the pots extremely efficient. He gets plus 75% healing from the potions, as well as a ton of mana, which I suspect is what he's really needing right now to spam that gas. But it's not giving him any health, and he might go down here. Is the dunk going to come out? No, because top lane Sucks was grounded. He could not execute that. Now he's just waiting for cooldowns. And now he's looking for Shapiro, but he gets tossed out of range. And the Troll Singe is well and alive. Unfortunately, we missed the kill mid lane as Alpal is firing back, finding the solo kill onto Heal. So what now?
Man, that's interesting. Like, I get where he's coming from, but it's like, at the same time, he's giving out, like, he's losing a lot of farm by doing this troll stuff. I'm just like, what? He's not a Trundle. He's not supposed to be troll.
I mean, the original troll before the Troll King was Singe, to be fair, in that top lane. And, I mean, we talked about how Vengeful Reapers likes to get an early game, but Singe is not an early game pick, and perhaps, you know, it doesn't really fit into the composition all that well for Vengeful Reapers and might cost them a little bit here. Noise in the jungle now, level 7, has just been power farming. He's actually even with his solo laners, ahead, actually, in fact, of Shapiro here. So I'm looking to see where Noise decides to throw his first gank now that he's got the Moonfall unlocked here.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a very interesting thought. Well, Heels looking like she's coming down for a gank now.
We do see the death sentence coming out. The Ascendant messing up the flash into the wall, and that's going to be another free kill for Heelslot in this bot lane. Great rotation, but while they're doing that, Teeman is waiting around, has cleared out the vision here. And the question is, are they going to go for Dragon? Because Noise is on the opposite side of the map for now.
That's, I feel like it'd be risky because Heel and Jay Dillian are just, they're in the area to be able to try to bait someone out.
Yeah, instead it looks like Noise opting for the Herald instead, knowing that Teeman was showing bot side. And Shapiro starting to proxy already with just the Amp Tome.
Yeah, which that in itself, like that combined with the Dark Seals. Okay, now I'm starting to pick up what he's laying down.
Sure, and Noise getting that Herald will be spotted out by the Scuttle there, so Teeman's going to know he's not anywhere near the bot side, and Teeman's going to look for some action down here, but JD and Drizzle already going back to base. Looks like they're happy to surrender this Cloud Drake here.
Yeah, that one I'm not sure about, because if there's a team comp that I wouldn't want to have ults, it would be 7 Men's team
Oof, and
comp.
Heelslot just getting absolutely melted there. No stun needed, and now Alpels finding a double kill onto Noise as well. We were wondering where Noise's first gank will be. Apparently it's back, straight back to the fountain as he gets melted by that snake, and we've seen Alpels really pop off on this Cassiopeia before. They're accelerating the pace of the game for Alpels, and that might be a fatal mistake here for Vengeful Reapers.
Right, and again, you know, if 7 Men is able to get this this Cloud Drake,
Oof, and that was just the bleed in the top lane from top lane sucks. I don't think he had enough mana to really get the dunk, but didn't need it. Bot lane, Mookstar and the Ascendant finding Drizzle there. Didn't quite see what happened, but it's showing the strength of the Varus right now. Varus finding himself a bit of a CS lead as well as those kills.
Right. And but like I was saying, back to the dragon is, you know, if 7 Men gets his dragon, you have Cassiopeia, you have Varus, and most importantly, you have the Darius. Any kind of extra cooldown reduction on ults for those three, that's going to be a nightmare to deal with.
For sure, but so far, looking like 7 Men not really prioritizing that Drake either. In fact, they've actually lost vision on it, and the closest thing they have is this control ward in the bush here. They do see JD clearing out the ward. We'll see JD roaming up towards the mid, so I don't know if they suspect that Dragon's on the table here. And on the side of Vengeful Reapers, they don't have a lot of vision behind the pit either. So they're going to drop Herald Shelly into that mid lane, get a bunch of plates here, and that's really all they've got. JD showing up in the mid lane. Petrifying Gaze comes out, catches Noise, and Heelslot. That's going to be Noise just shredded there. He's not tanky at all. Heelslot diving this turret. That might be a mistake. That's yet another double kill for Alpel. And they're hunting for JD. They get the damage. That's a triple kill now. He gets death sentence under the turret, but that's not enough when you're already dead, and things are looking dire for Vengeful Reapers here.
Yeah, that was very scary because, I mean, that was a 3v2 under turret that went horribly wrong for Vengeful Reapers.
And in the pick and ban phase, we had concerns about their composition, about the way they'd scale and how they'd be able to synergize. And we were saying that they've got to be careful of the mid to late game. And unfortunately for them, 7 Men are dominating the early game right now. A 3,000 gold lead at 13 minutes is not the largest we've seen even in this series, but it's certainly nothing to scoff at. And when most of that is sitting on Alpals, on this Cassiopeia that wants to scale, well, that's just not something that you want to see if you're part of the Vengeful Reapers. And we do see a disconnect coming out from Teeman, it looks like here. So we are going to have a bit of a pause for now.
Right. Now, something I'm kind of curious about, because I'm not too familiar with how the disarm on Aurelia works, but if I'm not mistaken, I believe it just makes it to where you can't auto-attack. I'm not certain if it makes it to where you can cast abilities or not. So if that's the case, like if it stops being able to cast abilities, then it is really good for going into Cassiopeia. However, if the Cassiopeia doesn't walk into any of those blades, I mean, she can just stand there and just spam spells on you, heal while she's hitting those spells, and just kind of delete you.
Yeah, I'm unfortunately not familiar either with. I don't believe it stops abilities though, but I can't confirm that for sure, unfortunately. But so far, it just doesn't seem to be working against the Cassiopeia for now. I mean, aside from the early first two kills from Hyosawat onto Alpals, as soon as Alpal started scaling up, you immediately, once Petrifying Gaze was unlocked, basically, you saw how Alpal started winning those fights, and now you can see a level disparity coming out in that mid lane. Alpal is 2 levels up here, and if you look across the board, it looks like 7 men are enjoying leads in both CS and levels. Top lane sucks a level up. Mookstar a level up. They're up CS as well, and the only place where they're down CS is in that jungle, and that's Noise versus Teeman, but Teeman able to get some ganks off, and you can see that while Noise has a bit more gold, it's only about 400 here.
Right. So 400 gold, not really that much. Whereas, I mean, while Teeman, he doesn't exactly have as much gold, he was also, because he has those 3 assists, that means that's 3 kills that someone else on his team got to get them ahead.
And we do see now Dragon being started up by Vengeful Reaper, started up and taken down almost immediately. They've got the damage, they've got the burst, and you were saying that it's bad for 7 men to get that cooldown, that Cloud Drake. Well, Vengeful Reapers managed to make sure that they don't give that over. But at what cost? Because they left Mookstar to free farm that bot lane. He's now 35 CS up from Drizzle here. Has to be careful though, does not want to walk into that. And top lane, Shapiro, despite being down 2 levels, actually doing pretty decently for himself. And I jinxed it. We see the execute come out.
That's a yikes.
Well, but top lane sucks is going to pay for his sins here. We do see the gang coming out. It's going to be Noise picking up this one. He picks up the shutdown. That's 350 gold. That's part of the way Proxy Singed works. You give over a whole bunch of bounty gold, and then you get it picked up by someone else. Now the Ascendant aggressively positioning here. The Demon Flare coming out real early here. Doesn't land the root onto anyone. Vision of the Empire coming down, and JD's taking a ton of poke. Has to flash back out, but they do manage to get the play and the death sentence. And that's going to be a kill coming out. Clean play from JD. Curtain Call comes out. Doesn't find Mookstar. No, it doesn't, because Healslawat already finished it. And Healslawat just running around, getting kills left and right, top and bottom. They do give up the mid lane outer turret, though, and now Noise might go down to Alpals. Alpals just running him down. Alpals now godlike as he's 7-2-1.
And now here's the really interesting thing about that. Look at the keystone that Alpals has. He's not running the typical phase rush. He's got Conqueror.
I mean, he doesn't need it. He's able to run things down. Top lane sucks now running into that bot side. The beat's coming off on JD. Is the shield going to be enough? No, it won't, because top lane sucks literally just kept running there. He has to be careful though. Might go down. The heal is disgusting. There's no healing cut. And now Drizzle getting petrified will go down. And Healslawat just can't pump out enough damage to overcome that Conqueror Darius here. And it's looking like VGR needs to get themselves some healing cut, or they just will not be able to take down this tanky Darius.
Right, and it's just like, we saw what Microthorn was able to do on Darius for VGR, and now we're seeing top lane sucks do the exact same thing. And it's just like, if you know that Darius can put out that much, you know that you should respect what he can do. Don't underestimate his damage early, even if all he has is Triforce.
Yeah, and I mean, with the Darius too, like Darius actually has a fairly low win rate in solo queue right now in gold and plat level games. So the fact that these top laners are picking dares and just running away with it is incredibly, it's just incredible, really. We do see the top lane turret going down for the side of 7 men, so Vengeful Reaper is able to find at least a little bit of gold somewhere, but again, the question I feel like we keep asking here in this game 5 is it worth it? Because Shapiro getting that turret is great, but they're losing everything across the map here in exchange for that.
Right, and it's just like, even when Shapiro does get more online, I mean, if he gets Crystal Scepter, that's all well and good, but top lane sucks. He's got Swifties, so that's going to be negating some of that slow just outright.
Yeah, definitely not really going to be able to stop him from running you down, especially over the long term. And we do see the Sork boots coming out from Shapiro, so he's actually going to have less movement speed there. I mean, we'll have to see if he builds that Rylai's Crystal Scepter, pardon me, and how that goes. And that's going to be Herald going over to 7 men here. Easy take for them. And the flash from Muxar so aggressive on the Varus because he can afford to. Noise going in, gets that 3-man Moonfall. Is it going to be enough? No, because the Petrifying Gaze stops the engage, and now Shapiro running away. He's going to take some damage on the back end of it, but they're not going to chase because 7 men are aware of the first rule of Singed. Do not chase the Singed. And Healslot able to find herself a turret in that bot side. Split pushing here, but it's going to be answered by top lane Sucks on that top side instead.
Yeah, so very good rotations. Oh no, wait.
And now Alpao's potentially getting caught out here. He's trying to pump out the damage. JD getting hit by team, and he's going to go down, and Alpao's getting yet another kill for himself. He's legendary right now.
Man, I don't know. That just feels greedy there. Like, I can understand why in a sense, just because you see 7 men and they're just so low in that mid lane, but again, you have to respect the healing and damage that Cassiopeia can put out.
Good ult. What now? Finding Muxar alone. We'll be able to get the kill. Top lane Sucks answering back, but that's still a 1-for-1. And if you're Healslot, what, you take anything you can get at this point in time.
I mean, that is true, but at the same time, that's just giving more gold over to top lane Sucks, which, I mean, in this case, for VGR, sucks a lot.
Definitely, and I mean, top lane Sucks living up to his name in making Shapiro's life hell, or really any lane he opts to show up in at this point. Herald being summoned into the mid lane. Shelly going to get the charge off onto that inner turret. It's going to be another easy take, and now the map is split into half for Vengeful Reapers. They're starting to lose control, lose vision as well. Their top side is completely dark. They've got wards out the wazoo on the bottom side, but it's not going to save them as Noise goes down to Alpao's, and Alpao's continuing his legendary streak. 10, 2, and 3 here. Top lane Sucks getting the execute. Can he get the second dunk? Yes, he can. He will give his life for it, but that's JD picking up the bounty. 300 gold bounty, not the person you wanted on, and that's going to be Shapiro now going down. 4-for-1. Not worth for Vengeful Reapers.
Yeah, and not only that, but this is a case where when you're 7 men, you ask, is this double kill dive worth it? Totally. Because Shelly got the extra charge in onto the inhib turret. So that's just going to help set up crack, it's going to help crack the mid lane open even further.
For sure, and the inhibitor turret does regenerate health over time, but it's a very, very slow regeneration. And for the side of 7 men so far, they've had no problems closing out the games. In all the games that they've won, they've just absolutely dominated and just run all over over Vengeful Reapers here. So I expect this to be more of the same. Team risky back, but does manage to pull it off, and he gets out to safety for now. 7 men have gone back, have bought, and are now ready to push their item leads all over Vengeful Reaper's face.
Yeah, and it's just like, at this point, if you're Vengeful Reapers, what do you do? I mean, you need to be able to try to get leads somewhere, but you can't really afford to go past the river. You can't really look for picks, because even if you do find a pick on someone, more chances than not, you're just going to get out damaged at this point.
And we do see 7 men starting up this Baron. Look how fast it goes down with the Leandries completed for Alpao's already. And there's no vision here. They finally get it, but it's already down to less than 1,000 health, and that's going to be Baron going down 2130, effectively uncontested. Shapiro continuing his split push ways into this bot lane. And yeah, that's what a Singe needs to do, but it's not... I don't think it's going to be able to stop this game-ending push here.
Yeah, that is the issue with going the proxy Singe. It's just like, if you get too far behind...
Oh, and a beautiful death sentence onto T-Min's. Gonna see him dead here. They do trade back for noise, but a kill's a kill. And now top lane Sucks just tacking up this turret. He gets JD, he gets heal Slowat. And is he gonna get more here? He misses the heal. He might go down from the poison. Shapiro chasing after. And it's gonna be Alpal's potentially dead here. Alpal's going down top lane Sucks as well. It's gonna be Drizzle picking up double kill here. That's a whole bunch of gold entering his pocket. Will it be enough? Maybe not. Ascendant, the only one left alive. They trade 4 for 4, but they lose the inhibitor turret and the inhibitor.
Well, sorry chat. The dream was almost there. It was alive, and then it was stolen away from you. No pentakill, no raffle yet.
And teams just seeming to struggle to perform here on the live stream. They can't seem to get themselves the penta. Now we see the teleport coming in from Heal Slowat, looking for the Ascendant. She does have the movement speed buff, will be able to get in range, it looks like, but the root, perfect timing there. Will it be enough? No, it will not. And that's the Ascendant going down to Heal Slowat. And Heal Slowat right now, the sort of win condition, the stall condition here for Vengeful Reapers, because she's kind of up 6, 7, and 2 right now.
Yeah, she definitely has the damage. But the question is, will it be enough? I mean, that's probably the safest person that they can get a pick on is the Ascendant. They might be able to get a good pick on Mookstar as well. But, I mean, if they see either top lane, T-Min, or Alpals, you just need to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, but we did see Alpals die, so even Greek god snake things bleed and can die. And now Shapiro getting potentially caught out here. We do see Alpals and Alpals and Mookstar, pardon me, collapsing in here. And now Shapiro stuck in the middle of 3. No, because top lane Sucks backed out, and he might be able to get out. No, T-Min's here. Everybody's here. He's guaranteed dead. He's just buying time. But there's nothing on the map for his team to take while he's doing that. And now they're going to have to fight 5v4 if they want to contest this Drake.
Right, I mean...
Oh, the aggressive flash forward once again from Mookstar. He doesn't have Ash, doesn't have Enchanted Crystal Arrows, but who cares about that when you've got Flash and you've got Chain of Corruptions available instead? You can do the same thing with 2 spells, and top lane Sucks aggressively going in. He has the Ghost, he does find Heal Slowat, but has to be careful. He's in the midst of 3. Can he get the executes? Can he get the dunks? Maybe, maybe not. No, he won't, because Noise goes golden at the perfect time there. And now top lane Sucks going down, feeding a bounty over to Irelia there, 400 gold. The rest of the team does manage to pick up a dragon, but that's Mountain Drake. You need to stack a few of those to be worth it, and they're going to look to push in onto this inner turret in the bot lane.
Right, and I mean, even if you need more stacks to be a lot more worth, at this point, you got to wonder, any kind of extra resistances for Darius is going to be devastating if you're VGR. You don't want him to be able to get anything that's going to make him be able to live through those and get multiple dunks off.
Yeah, that is completely true. He's 12, 4, and 2, and we harped on how incredible Alpals is performing, but actually, top lane Sucks is very, very similar in terms of kills here. The smite coming out from T-Min will get him that, but he gets pulled back. The Moonfall messes up the blast cone, and he gets dragged by, and he's gonna go down. Heal Slowat being gifted that kill again. She's now 8, 7, and 2 right now, and she's becoming a threat for more than just the Ascendant at this point in time.
Yeah, this could be the start of a very good comeback for VGR. They definitely need to just keep the pressure like they are and keep getting these really smart 5-man picks on just one person.
And Shapiro is starting to scale up, has sold off all his Dark Seals there, picking up the Liandry's and the Rylai's, and that's going to burn down top lane Sucks, and really anybody who's trying to chase him there, and he should be able to get away, and we'll see how that works. You can see already top lane Sucks despite having the movement speed buff from the Trinity Force, is having difficulty catching on to Shapiro for now. And if they do try and make a comeback, they'll have to make it around Heel Slowat and Shapiro's pressure.
Right. And interestingly enough, if you look at Mookstar's build, he's actually going on hit Varus. He's got Rage Blade and he's got Blade of the Rune King. He's not going Poke.
Yeah, and I mean, he doesn't have to. Poke is strong in lane, and Poke actually has been nerfed very, very heavily this patch here in lane. So really, no reason why not to go on hit instead, especially when he can land those Chain of Corruptions and get the damage off here. Now we do Shapiro getting collapsed on by 2, but he's trading back pretty well against top lane Sucks actually. Teemin though into him right now is going to try and get the knock up the slow. They can't quite find that, but they don't need to, because top lane Sucks going to be able to get that. Alpal's finding Noise as well. Where on earth did that even happen? Looked like it was topside. Noise potentially looking for a flank, but he went down, and suddenly it's a 5 pressuring 3 right now. And JD, Drizzle, and Heel Slowat just have to stay inside their base, conceding all the inner turrets here to the side of 7men.
Yeah, and that is devastating for VGR.
I think that might be the first Chain of Corruption we've seen miss here from the side of Mookstar, and now the play coming in. Alpal's taking a bunch of turret damage, but the Seraph's Embrace Shield is going to be enough for now. They dive this turret, they got it. Ascendant going in, goes Golden, blocks the last turret shot, will survive that and the Ignite, and that's the Inhibitor turret cracked in the top side. Inhibitor soon to follow here. Noise running in, does have the Moonfall. Can he get it? No, he can't, because he gets melted instead by Alpals. It's going to be Drizzle picking up the kill onto the Ascendant instead. And the ADCs trading their lives against each other there. And that is still going to be the Inhibitor going down. It's a 2 for 2 technically. Noise and Drizzle going down there. And they're now going to rotate straight to the mid lane Inhibitor as well. Try and keep the pressure on in the top end mid lanes.
Yeah, that was a very, very scary push by 7men. Right now, if you're VGR, you got to be thinking, what else can we do at this point? Because they've tried fighting as 5, and at the end of the day, that didn't pay out for them. They're trying to get single picks off, and it works for a little bit, but then they end up being low, and whether or not it's Mookstar with the on-hit damage from the Varus being absolutely disgusting with his passive, or if it's just the straight burst from either top lane, Sucks, or Alpals, or even Teemin, it's just like they don't have a lot in the way of answers at this point.
I mean, they dropped themselves a sort of early game win lane composition. That means they really don't have a comeback mechanic necessarily. They don't excel in the team fights, like you said. The picks only work so far, and so they're struggling to come back from a 10k goal deficit. But at the same time, I feel like this might have been the closest game of the series thus far. The Baron being shredded down once again by 7men. This will be their second Baron here for themselves. And now top lane Sucks looking to try and find someone, but he finds 3. Is turning it around. He gets Drizzle though. That's already finding a kill in a 1v3 situation, and we did see Noise having to flash out, and they're going to get a second one as Mookstar able to snipe JD there, and this might be the beginning of the end. They're going to keep on chasing. That's a second duck. That's Noise going down. There's only 2 left to defend, and top lane Sucks is going to run right past the turret. He's looking for kills. He's out for blood. Can he find it? These are the 2 more dangerous characters of the side of Vengeful Reapers. Heel Slowat pumping out the damage, but will get dunked on, styled on, and it's only Shapiro left alive. Superman's in the base with the Baron buff. Top lane Sucks going to pull in Shapiro. He finds himself yet another kill. That's an ace. That's a bunch of kills, and that's 7 men winning the best of 5. They punched their tickets to the semifinals. Congratulations to 7 men.
Yeah, very well played. Interesting interaction there. Shapiro actually tossed top lane Sucks over Aurelia's blades on her ult, so top lane Sucks didn't get disarmed at all.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I don't think it made a difference at all at that point, but I mean, if it had come in at other times, perhaps it would have made a difference. And top lane Sucks on this Darius. Look at that damage, 33,000, absolutely disgusting. Shapiro, despite that rough start on the proxy cinch, I mean, it is a proxy cinch, did come back in just over 30,000 damage as well. Actually did an amazing amount here against champions.
Yeah, that is very impressive, and it really just goes to show how much self healing Darius can give himself, because you got to imagine that a lot of that damage is against the Darius, just because more times than not, it was always Shapiro and top lane Sucks fighting each other.
Yeah, and yet we ultimately did see top lane Sucks completely popping off 17, 4, and 3 here. 41 kills for the side of 7 men in a 30-minute game. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this is going to be the bloodiest series we've seen. The most kills for sure, because it's a full 5 games here. Just an amazing matchup, and it lived up to every bit of expectation we had for it. And with that, we are going to head to a short intermission while we set up for an interview with the winning team here with 7 men. So stick around, and hopefully we'll be back really, really quickly.
Waiting for the storm to clear, just waiting for the storm to clear. I'm waiting for the storm to clear, just waiting. Only when the sun appears, I'll be waiting. Only when the sun appears, can I find you again. Can I find you again? Can I find you again?
And welcome back, everybody. We are here in an interview, and we're joined with top lane Sucks and the Ascendant from 7 men. Both these people instrumental in their win here over the side of Vengeful Reapers. So first of all, congrats to you guys. How are you feeling after that series win? Full 5 games here.
Very frustrating. I honestly did not think you had a gyro to all 5 games, because there were some games where we made, as a team, really bad decisions, and we obviously paid the price with lost games there.
For sure. And what about you, the Ascendant? How do you feel after winning that series there?
I was pretty depressed. I had to go on tank duty after playing a fight game, and I just ran it down. So I just had to play for the team.
I mean, you can't argue with the results of that, though. You guys did manage to pull out the wins after switching you over to Pike, and what an from Pike, pardon, and what an interesting reaction. Both of you not happy with that series here. But that being said, I mean, top lane, you popped off here in the last game. You're 17, 4, and 3, so maybe not a bad thing that you didn't get to play your Nasus, because you seem to play a lot better when you're not on the Nasus there.
Yeah, the thing is, I try with the other picks like Kale, Nasus, and who was my other pick? Kale, Nasus, Aatrox, Darius, and one more. I forgot who I
The
played.
Nasus, bro.
Oh, just alright. Well, I tried to scale up with Kale and Nasus, and Kale wasn't that bad because I kind of was getting carried. I didn't have a lot of presence there, and I did end up getting my powers back in. When it came to Nasus, we ended up throwing a lot of priority lanes, and they were so fed to the point where I couldn't really do anything. And yeah, that was more the frustrating part. Oh, I also played York against the Karthus top side. I couldn't
Right.
do anything.
Yeah.
I kind of felt useless there because I couldn't really get to him, and yeah, I couldn't really pop over as much. Yeah.
So really, it sounds like you're just frustrated playing against Shapiro.
To be honest, yeah, there were a lot of exotic picks I never expected. Nonetheless, it still worked. So
For sure. I mean, like you said, it worked, and that's really all that matters at the end of it. Now, I heard that you guys do scrim Vengeful Reapers regularly. So, coming into the match here, was there like any sort of cheese that you're expecting, which either did or didn't show up?
No, to be fair, we didn't expect much competition because with the scrims we would win a good amount, almost. We would win like a lot of the games, but they put up like a lot more of a fight than we thought, and that was good because they definitely improved. It's my top laner I was in against Sapiro and somebody else. I know that he like wanted to prepare for me because I went against him a while back, a couple games ago, and he did end up losing to me pretty hardly there. But yeah.
Sure, and for you, Ascendant, in the bot lane, you guys seem to struggle a little bit against Drizzle and JD, but that last game here on the Swain and the Varus, you guys seem to win the 2v2 quite handily there. So was it just a question of picks, or do you guys have a bit of like a mental block in the early couple of games?
No, it's just that we have to sacrifice our bot lane so that we can get our top and mid ahead. And that's just mostly what we play for. We play through our solo laners and we just scale as our bot lane.
Fair enough. And now in this 5 game series, it was a very, very long series. So I'm sure you guys are tired, but was there a particular game in the series that stood out to you guys that is perhaps your favorite game, or, well, I don't want to say most frustrating. Let's go with favorite here.
It was like the Carthage game for me. Like we just like our mid laner. We had it said that we would pick our Swain third pick, and he would get a counter pick. But he's like, no, I got this, guys. I'll 1v9. I'll play Talia, and yeah, that was my
Yeah.
favorite game.
Fair enough. That was the game too. Was it?
Yeah, he never played Tilly again. But
I mean, he played it a lot during the regular
I don't
season.
think we need a ban on it anymore.
yeah, to be honest, for us, it's just like stay within the meta champ pool. You know, you can't really play a champion you just enjoy and expect to carry with it. For me, my favorite game was definitely the last game where I popped off on Darius there because I really felt like that was letting all my frustration out. But the other game was Aatrox, where I love playing Aatrox. I'm surprised they didn't ban him out, but that wasn't a game where I was as fed. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Aatrox was extremely scary though. When you did play it, it was a game 4, so they couldn't risk you getting that. Now that you've won this, you guys are qualified here for the semifinals, and in the semifinals, you'll be facing off either against MG Nitro or Xnol is the other team here. Now they get to choose who they want to play against, but out of those two teams, is there one that you'd prefer to face?
No. With this team, we had a lot of chemistry, and with their team, with Xno and what was the other team? I'm sorry.
MG Nitro.
And MG Nitro. I do remember going against MG Nitro. That was our first game actually. That was our first opponent that we went against in the tournament. But I'm pretty sure the top winner I went against was subbed out, so it's not even like I know their playstyle or anything like that. So we don't have chemistry between those two groups. And Xno was a team that we had to forfeit against because couldn't find a sub.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that one, no, we have no chemistry with any of those teams, so it's not really preferred for me.
Okay, so I guess no real preference as to who you guys want to face.
I mean, I'm looking forward to playing Xno to see what would actually have gone if we actually played them and had like a
you're
full
fair.
roster.
For
Yeah, that's
sure.
true with that.
Yeah, so Xno, you heard it here. They want to face you guys, so don't chicken out. Pick them, man, for the semis. And yeah, I mean, with that, there is some messages in chat as well. Basically, Noise wants to say that good games, guys, and JD is trying to call you guys up for a 2v2. Not happy how that last 2v2 bot lane went. And before we end the interview here, thank you guys for joining us. Is there anything you guys would like to say to all the viewers out there?
They should come support us the next game. It'll be much cleaner because we didn't get to scrim this week, but we managed to pull it off and win the game.
Yeah, support us because the whole team kind of took a break from league for like a week or so because of our activities. Majority of us, anyway. We haven't been able to scrim at all.
Okay, so yeah, you heard it. Please come out and support seven men in the Noxus division right now. Things are extremely chaotic. Anybody could really come out on top, so do come out and support your teams. The schedule for the games is always posted on the Twitch channel as well, so you can know when the games are being streamed. And once again, thank you guys for dropping by, and best of luck in your upcoming games.
All right, thank you. Appreciate
Thank
it.
Okay, and so with that, we are done for tonight here. The series for tonight, Vengeful Reapers versus 7 Men. What a long one. I'm actually starting to mess up what I'm saying because I'm kind of tired. But what a great series here to close things out. Luna, you know, what?
Yeah, again, it's like I guess I called it too, huh? It ended up being 3-2, 7 men.
Yeah,
So
the full five. Yeah, like I mean, I was predicting a 4-1, but you got it right with the full five here. And
yeah,
we did see DOV Nightfall being the other winner here for the Noxus bracket. So that's going to leave MG Nitro, X-Null, 7 Men, and DOV Nightfall here. And is there a particular matchup that you'd like to see between these four teams?
yeah, I think I agree with them. I would want to see 7 men versus Exol just because we didn't get to see that matchup in the regular season. So, but that being said, with as strong as 7 men as a team are, I'm curious to see how they're going to do, how they would do against the revamped MG Nitro.
So it just sounds like you're basically you've been converted to a 7 Men's fan after tonight. Luna.
I don't know about all that now. I do try to remain unbiased now. I'm just saying there are definitely pros to both scenarios. On the one hand, you get to see a match that we didn't get to see. On the other hand, we get to see 7 men play against another unknown variable, since it's essentially a new team that is still performing extremely well.
For sure, for sure. To be fair, it should be good games, regardless. You don't have to be a fan to enjoy good games here. And with that, we are pretty much done for tonight. And there were some other great games played, so definitely do tune in throughout the week for the streams. And that's going to be tomorrow. We've got Glacial Academy facing Hype Esports at the 1 p.m. slot, and we've got Pendulum facing Roar Yordos at the 5 p.m. slot. Monday is actually likely going to be the Noxus game. So that's actually DOV Nightfall versus Glacial Inferno. I'm aware that it says it's Glacial Omen, but that's not right. And then we have Glacial Omen facing Prismatic on the Tuesday here. So the Demacia Vision is Tuesday. Please do come by and watch those games. I'm sure some of them are going to be great. And before we sign off, Luna, is there anything you'd like to add before we sign off?
No, I think that's it. It was a great evening. Definitely a long one, but I'm definitely not upset by it. Very enjoyable games, and I hope everyone has a great evening and gets some well-deserved sleep.
For sure. So thank you all for joining us. Thanks for playing the games, guys. Those were great series as well. And we hope to see you guys all around for some of the other streams. Continue staying safe out there and have a good night.